Just ahead on CTV News.
Maryland Senate President outlines his objectives for the new legislative session. I'm Katara Jones. I'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
Plus, it's day 2. County and federal leaders meet to align priorities for 2026. And she's leaving the county council, stepping into a new role. These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for January 16th. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us. And leading our news tonight, we are in day 3 of the new legislative session. And today, Bill Ferguson hosted his first press conference since returning as Senate President.
CTV's Katara Jones is standing by in the studio with more.
During his first press conference back as Senate President, Bill Ferguson outlined 3 key objectives he wants the Maryland Senate to focus on this legislative session. Those objectives include growth, affordability, and protecting Marylanders from what he calls a, quote, lawless Trump administration. When it comes to growth, Ferguson says that Maryland's economy must evolve and that the state must move away from relying on federal employment to drive Maryland's economy. As we reported, Maryland lost 25,000 federal jobs from the Trump administration's slashing of its federal workforce. Ferguson wants to see Maryland scale and expand its private sector industries. On the topic of affordability, the Senate President wants to see Maryland's energy output at a lower cost, and he thinks the best way to do this is by investing in renewable energy. When it comes to the Trump administration's immigration policies, Ferguson is confident that Maryland Senate will pass a bill that will ban 287G agreements with ICE. He also wants to see the Maryland Senate pass a bill that would prohibit law enforcement from wearing masks to conceal their faces.
What we are seeing right now with the Trump administration and the way that we are enforcing immigration laws is antithetical to what we as people should want to believe our country to be. And so I think that the biggest consequence would be continuing to partner and to endorse the type of enforcement that we are seeing. I think what we're realizing now, particularly over the last 9 months, what we thought we could always count on, which was stable federal employment as driving Maryland's economy, is not as easy to rely on, and in fact is something that has become an anchor for us.
Ferguson says the state needs to make its permitting and regulatory system more efficient in order to keep businesses in Maryland and to help them grow and scale. Back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Katara. CTV News will continue to keep you updated on what's happening at the Maryland General Assembly.
Leaders in Prince George's County came back to the hotel at College Park today for the second day of the retreat. This is where they laid out their legislative priorities for the year. During lunch, they met with state and federal leaders. They talked about everything from affordable housing to rising energy costs. Speaker of the House, Jocelyn Pena-Melnick, tuned in virtually and says this year will be tough as the state is looking at a projected $1.4 billion budget deficit. Council Vice Chair Eric Olson shared with CTV what he would like to see addressed in 2026.
I think, things like housing, things like our environment, things like affordability, and stormwater management. Those are all things, permitting, and those are all things that we need to tackle this year.
Councilmember Ed Burrows says he would like to see what can be done to help homeowners. Prince George's County leads the state in foreclosure filings. Today is Councilwoman Ingrid Watson's last day in office for the Prince George's County Council. She is stepping down to be the new president and CEO of the county's Economic Development Corporation. Watson joined the council back in December of 2022 and has 30 years of community service with the county. Watson says while she is stepping down, she will still continue to look out for the people of District 4. She is now the second council member to resign over the last couple of weeks. In her new role, she says she'll be able to have a greater impact over the entire county.
I believe it's part of a journey that I really want to have a focus on, creating this a bigger impact in the county. I feel like moving into this role will allow me to do that. Instead of just being district specific, I can move into a role that helps bring economic development and increase our commercial tax base, which is a priority for me as a council member and now as EDC president.
The deadline to apply for the vacant District 4 seat is January 21st.
And the Prince George's County public school system has slashed its long-standing teacher shortage, bringing more consistency to its classrooms. Just this year alone, the county has gone from 1,000 vacancies to 280. PGCPS had one of the highest vacancy rates in Maryland during the 2022 to 2023 school year. But thanks to a hiring overhaul and transparency, things are turning around. Yesterday, we spoke to the interim superintendent in studio about how the district was able to make it happen.
Vacancies, I think, because we've improved salaries dramatically, and we put a push on ensuring that vacancies that had just been pervasively there, that there was an urgency to get them filled. And I think we also benefited from the federal workers shortage. Many people began transitioning and being interested in getting conditional licenses to come in and work with us. But it's been a lot of hard work, and we're going to work harder and smarter to make sure all of our classes are filled with qualified candidates.
Prince George's County Police need your help looking for a suspect connected to a fatal shooting in Langley Park. According to investigators, officers were notified that 20-year-old Anderson Orlana walked into a local hospital with gunshot wounds. He later died of his injuries not too long after he arrived. Investigators believe Orlana was shot on the 1300 block of University Boulevard. A $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone with any information leading to an arrest or an indictment in this case. New efforts to repair key pieces of infrastructure in Maryland are set to get underway a lot faster than you think. Governor Wes Moore and U.S. Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy released a joint statement after the meeting this week. During the meeting, Governor Moore and Duffy agreed to accelerate the reconstruction of both the Francis Scott Key Bridge and the American Legion Bridge. Governor Moore and Duffy also said they made significant progress on cost sharing for the Francis Scott Key Bridge to ensure fairness.
And new political pressure is building around the Homeland Security Secretary. House Democrats have filed impeachment articles accusing Kristi Noem of blocking congressional oversight of immigration detention centers and abusing her authority during enforcement operations. The resolution is co-signed by Maryland Democrats Sarah Alfrith, April McLean Delaney, and Kwaize Mfume. The push follows deadly confrontations involving federal immigration officers and growing protests nationwide. But with Republicans controlling the House, the impeachment effort faces long odds. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Anaya Falcon.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Still to come, they didn't let the frigid temperature stop them. Find out why the sheriff's office is taking the big plunge.
From the tiniest creature to the mightiest giant, every species shapes our world. Bees pollinate the plants that feed us. Elephants carve paths that keep forests healthy. Coral reefs protect coastlines and marine life. When wildlife flourishes, so do we. A healthy, natural world gives us clean air, water, and food. It helps us recover from disasters and fight diseases. Nature's impact is powerful, but it's fragile, and we all have a role to play in keeping it strong. A person, a community, a movement. Together, we have the power to protect wildlife, restore habitats, and build a sustainable future. Let's protect our planet, our future, our home. Find out how at wwf.earth/species.
Dear Coach.
Dear Coach.
Dear Coach, they don't teach you that inner strength is the most important kind of strong, but you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to build confidence in yourself or how to deal with all the pressures all at once, but you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to get back up after you fail or how to keep going no matter what they say about you, but you taught me that.
So every time I walk up to that first tee,
That next test,
a new school,
Or even walking into my first job,
I know I have what I need inside of me, and you helped me build it.
first tee was more than golf. It's where I discovered what I'm capable of. You didn't just prepare me for 18 holes. You were preparing me for every day of my life. Learn more at firsttee.org.
Welcome back. We would like to now congratulate one Prince George's County student.
This young man has made many strides in the community and will now take his talents to a national level. Crossland High School senior Omari Barnes will serve as one of 2 Maryland delegates for the U.S. Senate Youth Program.
Barnes is currently the student member of the Maryland State Board of Education and the president of Congressman Glenn Ivey's Youth Advisory Board. He will represent the state during the 64th annual USSYP Washington Week from March 7th through the 14th. And members of the Prince George's County Sheriff's Office took a plunge for a cause today. Today, they held their annual Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge in an effort to raise money for Special Olympic Maryland athletes. Deputies Jackson and Smith braced for the ice-cold water, staying in there for more than 5 minutes. They both believe this cause is worth the chill.
It means everything to me. This is my 14th consecutive year doing the Polar Bear Plunge. It's something that's true and dear to my heart. To raise money for a special cause. I'm absolutely elated to be here and be able to. I'm able to wake up and be healthy enough for this cause. These athletes need our help, and amongst other things, there were some co-workers of mine who are no longer with us. That also this meant everything to them. So every year I do this in memory of them.
Well, I'm excited about the cause. I'm a little bit not excited about what I got to do for the cause, but you know, it is what it is. And hey, I'm used to being cold. It's already January. We got February, so why not?
And if you would like to give it a go yourself, visit policeplunge.com.
Maryland state officials voted this week to tap private health insurance providers with higher premiums. This is to make up for an expected loss in funding and rate-setting controls as Maryland prepares for a new framework for Medicare payments to state hospitals. The change was approved Wednesday by the Health Services Cost Review Commission, but won't take effect for a year.
And after years of delays, progress is finally underway on lowering prescription drug costs. The state's Prescription Drug Affordability Board says it's actively taking steps to rein in prices for people on Maryland's health insurance plan. The board is moving toward cost controls on 2 widely used diabetes drugs, Farxiga and Jardiance, after determining they pose affordability changes and challenges. Some lawmakers remain skeptical, warning that saving for the state won't matter if patients don't see relief.
A big milestone for Metro riders tonight. Metro says crime across the system hit its lowest level in at least 25 years in 2025. New data shows so-called Part 1 crimes, which include robbery, assault, and theft, dropped 35% system-wide, with major declines on Metro Rail, Metro Bus, and in parking lots. They credit increased enforcement, a sharp rise in fare evasion tickets, and new policies allowing police to ban repeat offenders from the system.
If you commit crime on Metro, you're going to be seen, you're going to get caught, and hopefully you're going to get prosecuted. We're a community transit system, and we're there to serve our community and get people around safely, and that's what we're going to continue to work on. Everybody deserves an ability to get on a bus or a train or Metro Access vehicle and feel safe.
It's not one thing that does it. It's just all these things, when you put them together, you can have an impact on crime and disorder. And that's what we've tried to do, I mean, we still have crime and disorder, but, what we're trying to do is, address it, mitigate it, so we have less and less each year.
Metro says while overall crime is down, car break-ins and thefts remain a concern, and more enforcement is planned for this year.
And a new state audit finds Maryland missed the chance to recover $760 million in unemployment benefit overpayments. The report says the Labor Department issued more than $800 million in improper payments, and now the funds are considered uncollectible. Residents are now receiving repayment letters, including some who say they never applied for benefits. State lawmakers are blaming poor oversight, while labor officials cite pandemic-era pauses and staff shortages. The audit also warns weak controls may have allowed fraud and identity theft to slip through.
Maryland lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have different opinions on whether there should be a statewide inspector general. The state, unlike many other places, does not have one. Typically, they are responsible for investigating waste, fraud, and abuse within government. Governor Westmore is against the state having an inspector general, while Senate President Bill Ferguson says the Department of Legislative Audits already does this type of work. Some House GOP lawmakers say they would be in favor of an inspector general's office, while some Maryland House members have mixed opinions on the matter. Still to come on CTV News.
A new play is in town that captures the internal struggles of racial disparities. I have all the details when we come back. Stay with us.
I knew that St. Jude was a children's hospital for cancer and hematology. I knew that no one ever received a bill from St. Jude. But I in no way understood the scope of how amazingly and how completely they take care of their patients and their families.
Join the battle to save lives by supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Here at St. Jude, you don't ever have to worry about how much treatment costs. You never get a bill, ever, for any of it.
They make it so that our only battle and our only concern is taking care of him and making him comfortable, and making sure that we're there to support him in every way. Any other concern that we could have, St. Jude took care of completely.
We know the pressure you feel. They say there are no excuses. They say to just push hard. They say to just go faster. But when we're on the field, they don't know what's going on inside us. How hard is too hard? When do we get support? When do we raise our hand and ask for help? How are we supposed to feel good in here when that's happening out there? We need each other. Love, you're mine.
A play that follows the story of a Black struggling actor in the golden age of Hollywood is coming to Laurel Mill Playhouse. I sat down with the director and actor in Save My Black Soul to discuss how the show aims to make an impact.
I gotta work twice as harder than you ever could. I gotta work twice as hard just to be taken seriously.
Save My Black Soul is a love letter to our ancestors, our artistic ancestors.
Save My Black Soul is a play set in Hollywood's golden age about a struggling Black actor who leaves Black stereotypical roles to build a theater space in New York for aspiring actors of color.
Edward is trying to build something and be something more while trying at the same time to justify his own existence.
You ain't never gonna be nothing.
There's always the pull and tug of do I eat today or do I do something that's spiritually satisfying?
26-year-old Cameron King acts as the conscience of the main character as he navigates the world of show business during a time of racial disparity.
I'm on every screen in America.
I believe that this character is kind of omnipresent, that he's living the past, present, and future, and he's showing the lead of what the future could be if you say yes to these things, and what the future could be if you say no to these things. And I'm also exploiting Black history in the same way with how I try to tell certain details or how we progress.
The director of Save My Black Soul says this show makes room for Black local artists to share Black history on stage and will hopefully encourage audience members of color to come see it.
I'm really happy doing this show. I love that Evan is the writer for this and Jeremy is directing this, and it's just like assembling the Black Avengers together. It feels great, so I love it.
More than anything, I want folks to walk away from this story feeling refreshed with history.
Seems like a great show. Save My Black Soul runs at the Laurel Mill Playhouse on weekends starting Friday through February 1st. For tickets, visit laurelmillplayhouse.org.
For the first time ever, the county's Department of Environment has hired a full-time veterinarian, Dr. Constantine Tanaza. He will be joined by the county's 2 part-time vets at the Animal Services Facility and Adoption Center. Dr. Tanaza has extensive experience in shelter medicine, livestock care, and disease mitigation. The department's director says now with a full-time vet, they can deliver more consistent, proactive, and comprehensive care.
And in less than a month, travelers planning to take a flight and don't have a real ID will have to pay a fee. Starting February 1st, TSA is implementing TSA Confirm ID, an optional alternative identity verification system for the cost of $45. This is only if you don't have a real ID or other acceptable forms of identification. If you plan to use the new system, officials urge you to visit tsa.gov/confirmid to pay the fee. Then either print or screenshot your receipt and bring it to the airport. And I don't know about you, Jonathan, but I am thanking God it is Friday.
Oh, same here. And you know, it's payday Friday at that, the end of the week. I mean, yes, I am happy. It is Friday. It might be cold outside, but I'm just happy, right?
Yes, for sure. And speaking of Friday, I think we have a story about Fridays, the restaurant, right?
Yeah, we do. And speaking of Fridays, I heard the restaurant chain might be making a comeback. The company recently announced that they will be operating more than 1,000 locations by 2030 and also hope to make roughly $2 billion in annual revenue.
And this comes after the company filed for bankruptcy in late 2024 and closed nearly 130 stores nationwide. Despite that, they feel because of their new 1-2-3 strategic vision, which appeals to a newer generation, they are ready to start a new chapter.
And even though we still have a couple of weeks of football, basketball, my favorite sport is in full swing around the county.
Yeah, that's right. Simon, what's going on today in sports?
Stay tuned for your Friday sports page, everybody, because there was a ton of high school hoops action last night. And I have some highlights for you from some of the matchups. Stay tuned to find out who came out on top and who went back to their school with an L.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Okay, sports fans, I've got a packed sports page for you all today. Go ahead and grab a seat. For our first story, there was some action on the hardwood over in Temple Hills last night as the Crossing Lady Cavaliers hosted Potomac High School. Now, both teams struggled with their shot to begin the quarter, but Potomac was able to score first after the Lady Wolverines laced this triple. And soon after, Crossing was able to get their first bucket of the night after this nice dish from Millie Granados to Shamaya Freeman. Now, Potomac did have a small 6-2 lead over Crossland, but Ramia Alston finishing in transition and Anala Midget knocking down the mid-range jumper helped Crossland close out the quarter up 8-6 on the Lady Wolverines. In the second quarter, Potomac was able to tie the game and even retake the lead thanks to this strong drive and finish from Anaya Tucker and this steal and layup on the other end by Azari Santiago. With 10 seconds left in the quarter, Potomac was up 15-13. That wasn't until Alston drove to the basket and made this and one layup to tie the game at 15 all. She then made this free throw to give her team a 16-15 lead going into halftime. But in the end, Potomac walked away with the win, beating Crossland 33-27. Meanwhile, over in Brandywine, the Gwynn Park boys basketball team was defending home turf against Oxon Hill. Now the Clippers were able to jump out to an 8-2 lead to begin the first, thanks to these two tray balls, one from Miles Madoa and another one from Sanjay Rogers coming off the dribble handoff. But here came the Yellow Jackets, and this three from them got them a 9-8 lead over Oxon Hill. The quarter remained nip and tuck the rest of the way, and Gwynn Park went into the second only up 16-14 over Oxon Hill. In the second quarter, both teams continued to go at one another, and the game remained close. With a couple of minutes to go in the quarter, Jemiah Christian Smith finding Kevin Bowie III on the fast break, this block from Dwight Strickland, and Bowie finishing through contact helped Gwynn Park go up 29-25 on the Clippers. But Ian Wilson grabbing the board and laying the ball back up helped his team close the quarter and go into halftime down 29-27 on Gwynn Park. And Gwynn Park kept their lead for the rest of the game, winning 54-43. There was even more basketball action around the county. Starting with the girls, Fairmont Heights survived a close game against Sarasville, winning 48-45. The Lady Raiders and Eleanor Roosevelt routed Suitland 57-32, and Duval took down Bladensburg 42-35. Moving on to the boys, Bowie beat Laurel 62-55. The Frederick Douglass Eagles soared past CMIT South, winning the ball game 69-55, and Largo cruised to a 72-23 victory over College Park Academy. In other news, Terps women's lacrosse player Corey Edmondson has been named to the 2026 U.S. Women's World Lacrosse Championship roster. The Big Ten Midfielder of the Year is coming off her best college season, leading the team in goals, points, and ground balls. Edmondson was also a part of the 2024 Under-20 U.S. team that won the Women's Lacrosse Championship in Hong Kong. Congratulations on being named to the roster, Corey. And wrapping up sports is game day, Wizards fans. Washington will be on the road tonight taking on the Sacramento Kings to try and grab their 11th win of the season. Tip-off is at 10 o'clock. And that is your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Now, let's take a look at our 3-day weather forecast. I hear we have some possible snow headed our way.
That's right, Jonathan. And tonight you can expect scattered snow showers with a low of 31. Tomorrow we have scattered rain and snow with a high of 46. And Sunday we have a higher chance of snow and a chilling high of 31. And Monday, bright and sunny skies with a high of 39. And speaking of Monday, did you know it was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Well, if you're looking to celebrate and honor the icon, Laurel has the event.
The mayor and city council invite everyone to participate in their Day of Service event from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Laurel Multi-Service Center Gymnasium. For more information, you can call the number right there on your screen. Do you have a story to tell? You can reach out to our CTV News tip line.
Yes, just give us a call at 301-386-4085, or you can send an email to ctvnews@pgctv.org. As always, we look forward to hearing from you.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us. And we all know that MLK Day is Monday.
Yes, happy celebrations. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night.